Hello, puny mortals. It is I, the High Overlord of Hair, Keeper of Dargon, and Master of the Keep of Fantasci. Today we are going to take a look at The Flow of History, designed by Jesse Lee, published by Taiwanese Minstrel Games. It plays 3 to 5 players and is ages 12 and up. Plays in roughly 60 to 90 minutes. I'm not going to bore you with the details that you will have heard a dozen times by now. If you want a great rules explanation, I suggest you go check out the Game Boy Geeks video on this game. Basically, The Flow of History is a civilization game in a small box of cards. Players try and diversify their production icons on their civilization cards to increase their engine building capabilities. When players purchase their cards, they place them in stacks based on the same civilization, which is represented by color and icons. Each time you stack a card, it becomes the active effect based on the effect timing. Either instant, attack, attack all, permanent, turn action, or scoring effects. For setup, players separate the civilization cards based on the age on the back of the cards and put them in descending order on top of the internet card, which covers the future card and then forms the market. The market will change based on the number of players, either 5 or 6 cards. Each player is a nation and takes the components needed, and then each player is dealt 1 starter nation card as their starting civilization card. During their turn, each player gets to take 1 of 5 actions. They can choose to take either invest, complete, snipe, activate, or harvest. There are also heroes and wonders in this game. Players may only have 1 hero in their civilization at any time and provide a bonus power. Wonders provide in-game scoring and extra production icons for harvesting. The in-game winning condition is triggered by the future card when it pops up and is either placed in the market or is acquired by another player. The winner is the person with the most points based on a couple different scoring criteria. During the first play, it took us maybe 2 hours, but once we got the flow of the actions and the iconography, play quickened quite a bit. The limitation of 1 action per turn provides a great amount of tension as players try to figure out what each player is doing and hoping that their card doesn't get sniped. Sniping is a great mechanic that allows another player to buy a card out from underneath another player who's already invested in it. The sniping player must then pay that same amount of money to the player being sniped as the investor had paid to the bank for the card. Players use harvest to produce, invest to place their pawn on the card in the market, as well as their bid. The complete actions also allows the player to bring that card into their civilization and immediately do any actions that may be associated with that card. The activate action allows a player to use 1 action from any card in their civilization that has that turn action effect. The Flow of History is a game that packs more punch than you expect. As players, you are evaluating an ever-changing market, trying to leverage your resources to get cards that get you the most bang for your buck. While a monopoly of production icons may be good, collecting sets of icons and wonders provide a great in-game scoring capability. The player interaction is quite fluid as each turn all the players are engaged by each other, and the need to pay attention to what each other is doing keeps them focused on the market and their next action. Turns progress fairly quickly once players get the basic iconography under their fingers and what the next actions available to them are. The way the nations are built are always unique and quite intriguing to me, honestly. Constructing a nation that is ever-changing strategy, the players may take cards from the market that they were planning on, or a player may be sniped. The strategy shifts are subtle and not something that eliminates a player from contention. However, a player is able to get their civilization cards, wonders, and heroes to work together is the key to winning the game. The Flow of History is a moderately quick game that gives a high amount of civilization game feel without all the fiddly rules, movements, or components. It is very easy to learn and you can be playing in 30 minutes. It allows for a good amount of strategy while having a touch of randomness based on the market draw. It is well balanced, thought out, and extremely fun to play. The fact that you can set it up very quickly and be playing in a fairly deep game makes this an automatic hit for me personally. The issues that I see that some players may struggle with are learning a new iconography and sniping. Some players do not like stab you in the back type games, so having a card sniped may not be a mechanic for everybody, although the stab you in the back feel is somewhat mild compared to most other games that have that same type of mechanic. Plus I think that adds a bit of realism to the civilization building engine anyway. While learning iconography isn't hard, it may provide a couple of rough plays or two until people are used to them and can spot the connections to the other cards quickly. So in conclusion, if you're a fan of civilization games, strategy games, or heavy cardboard, the Flow of History is for you. Lovers of deep games or simple games to provide a deeper gaming experience should be very happy with purchasing a copy of the Flow of History as well. If you're not a fan of stab you in the back games, then this game is a game you might struggle with a tiny bit, but I encourage you to give it a try anyway, as I feel the gameplay far outweighs any negativity towards that mechanic, and as I stated earlier, it isn't as harsh as many other games. I'm giving the Flow of History 8 out of 10 gears because it accomplishes a whole lot in a tiny game. It succeeds very well as a civilization building game, and while keeping the rules and the gameplay as simple as possible. It allows for many types of gamers to actually enjoy a civilization game and keep the game linked to a medium. Due to the way the nations are built, the replayability factor for the Flow of History is very, very high, and of course the size make it completely portable and playable in just about every situation. So, for me, 8 out of 10 gears. It's a great game. I can see myself playing it very, very often and taking it with me to lots of different places. I'm David Lowry with Club Fantasci. Thank you for watching.